We're with Demon head basketball coach Mike McConaughey, whose squad is in first place in the Southland Conference and taking a break from Southland Conference play, if you will, to participate in the Bracket Busters presented by Ramada Worldwide Saturday in Niagara Falls, New York, as they'll take on the Niagara Purple Eagles. And it's a trip that brings the Demons from earlier this week from the Gulf of Mexico up to Niagara Falls, spanning the country. Mike, your team faces a pretty good challenge on Saturday against a Niagara team that's leading the Metro Atlantic Conference.
Niagara's very talented and they do a very good job. They've got a lot of good pieces. They really can score the basketball. Guards are generally a larger version of what we have. Anthony Mason's son is a player there that played in the NBA for 13 years. And of course they had Calvin Murphy that played there years ago, and Hubie Brown was there as well, a legendary coach, went to school there. So they've got a little basketball history, and just excited about the opportunity to go to play somebody in a different conference. I don't know that I would have chosen Niagara if I was choosing it, but you know, it's a great opportunity.
It is an interesting matchup from a standpoint of they tend to play fast, you play fast, and that leads to an opportunity for an entertaining game for the folks who can watch Saturday on ESPN3.
Yeah, I think so. I think their fast is a different kind of fast than ours. Our fast, we try to really push the ball by the pass up the floor. They tend to be more off the dribble, getting it on up, and we want to, because our bigs are run pretty well, and that'll be an important factor on Saturday's game, for that our bigs are involved running the floor, trying to beat their interior players up the court.
All right, your team has won 9 in a row, and while you don't dwell on numbers like that, your team has done a lot of good things to do that. What are the characteristics that have shaped this winning streak?
Well, I think unselfish play is a big thing. I think the two waves that we have been very good together. I think that anytime you have two groups, that sometimes you can develop some chemistry, but then also you can have some chemistry issues. And I think that we're doing a pretty good job with it. I think that we can improve in some areas, but I think that in the first wave that we call Shamir Davis and Gary Stewart and Patrick Robinson with Marvin Frazier and O.J. Evans, I think Marvin and O.J. have really stepped up to level. I know that in the past game they scored 16 points, I believe, 15 or 16 points together, and you know, did a nice job, 4 for 4 for the 4 from Marvin, and I think that's really helped in giving that group an identity there with the interior present. And then Gary Stewart at times has stepped up and hit big shots. And we just got to really work on getting the ball up the floor to those guys in settings to where they can catch the ball and shoot. And Shamir Davis can do a great job with that.
The Demons have won 3 straight on the road in this road trip, 7 straight overall on the road. You'll have to be on the road, of course, again Saturday and next Saturday. So what's the secret to road success?
It's just you going to play. I mean, I think it's anything that we do. I mean, we never talk about injuries. We never talk about opponents as far as where you're playing or whatever. You just go out and you play the game, because that's the opportunity you have. I think when you tend to dwell on something as being a tough place to play or this, that, or the other, then it starts getting in their head. It's an opportunity to go to play. You know, when you're 20 years down the road looking back, you'd like to go play no matter where it was. And I think that that's the approach that our staff has taken, and I think it makes a big difference.
Your team has moved into a first-place tie in the Southland Conference. How's that affected the mindset, or has it at all?
You know, I think that that it's affected from the standpoint of that success has been good, but what have we done to be successful? And I know that we've talked a great deal about the 2 areas of our game that we've got to improve on, our defense and rebounding, and we've got to get better at those things. We believe we can score the ball on anybody, you know, at really any time. It's going to be the defense that makes a difference. And I think that in the past game against Corpus Christi, we did a great job in the first half, half-court and full-court defense, where we didn't do as well in the second half. Even though we guarded their half-court stuff okay, they were able to execute very well and get some easy buckets. So I think the defensive aspect and the rebounding aspect are the things that we've got to really look at to try to improve, to continue getting better, because I think that a lot of times we get caught up of just trying to get into a tournament or just trying to do this. No, we got to get there to win ball games to continue to advance. And you have to have that mindset, and I believe that mindset is something that you talk about and you build that from day one as a coaching staff and as a team.
It's a non-conference game Saturday. in the midst of the conference race. What's the value of Saturday's game for your basketball team?
I think the step away to play somebody different that's not in the league takes a little bit of the grind out, and I'm hopeful that that will help us. We can go win, and then we can get back to work next week. You're not discounting the importance of this game. I think this game for us has enormous potential because you go to another conference, a league leader in Niagara of their league, and be able to go get a win there. It puts you in a position to where it helps your RPI. It takes you out there. So the next two games we play will be Niagara and SFA. Both of those teams have decent Stephen F's better than ours at 82, I believe, and ours was 89 or it's 85, and ours was 89 or 90, around in that range. And so if you can go get wins at teams with better RPIs, it's going to help you.
All right, Saturday you're going to one of the most romantic locations on earth, certainly in the American continent, Niagara Falls. You've seen the falls. Hoping to see them again?
Well, I'd love to see them again, but you know the schedule's pretty crazy. We leave here at 3:30 on Friday morning. We arrive in Buffalo at 12:30. We have practice at 3 o'clock. And then our game's at 3 o'clock the next day. I hadn't quite figured out, unless we can take lights or something to there Saturday night, or maybe they've got a midnight cruise or something that you can take. I don't know, but I mean, it'll be an interesting thing to be able to get there. We haven't figured that one out yet.
We're with Lady Demon basketball coach Brooks Dorr, whose team plays at home Saturday at noon against New Orleans in a non-conference game. And whose team just picked up a big road win on Tuesday night at Corpus Christi. Let's talk first about the game noon Saturday in Prather Coliseum, a non-conference game against a UNO team that you've seen already this season and edged in the first game of the year down in New Orleans. So you have a little familiarity, although there's been a lot of basketball between now and then. What are you looking for Saturday?
Well, I think obviously you're looking, number one, at a different routine because it's a different opponent. It's not a conference opponent, kind of in the heart of the conference season. We just, as the conference schedule came out and we saw, you know, we'd have a 10 to 11 day layoff, we really wanted to try to get a game in there just to make sure our young team was still able to play and stay in a flow. We're going to look for New Orleans to be athletic. They're, you know, they've continued to play hard all year. Win-loss record is not great, but Coach Carter does a great job as far as making them play hard, and they'll get up and down and really look to get out in transition, throw some different defensive looks at us from a man to a zone, and we'll have to be prepared for both.
Your team got a road win at Corpus Christi, a very important win for your team in the conference race. Let's talk specifically about that game and your team's performance on the road and getting that road win.
Well, I think anytime you can go on the road and win in any league, it's big, especially for a young team, having not experienced that before. So I was really proud of our team and just their approach, and that's not an easy trip, and I felt like they really handled it in a great way, and were prepared. I thought their energy level to start the game was tremendous. Really looked to attack offensively, and it always helps when you shoot 57% in a half. I think 41 points for us in a half is definitely a season high, and if we can shoot the basketball that way and be that efficient offensively, I think it will definitely help us as we move forward.
And it helps you in the conference race now. Your team needs one more win to assure itself of a conference tournament spot. How do you feel about your team's status right now?
I feel very confident that we'll come out and compete. I think, you know, obviously our goal is to make the conference tournament, but our goal also as a program is to continue to get better every day, and we won't stray from that. I think that you know, has helped this team, young team, continue to grow throughout the season. Is don't focus on the past or the future, focus on, you know, the current moment and what you can control. And that's our energy and our effort and our attitude. And I think that they've really grown in that respect. And I think that's helped us position ourselves to where we can make the conference tournament. We obviously have a big game next week going to SFA and tied in the standings with them. They obviously beat us head-to-head here, so we need to go there and get a victory and hopefully even that back out.
As far as the basketball part of it, what is your team doing better now than it was early in the season?
I think just our ability offensively to execute at critical times and just look to attack more. I think people have really kind of settled into their roles and have really, some have really embraced that. And I think once you get to that point, people kind of know what's expected of them, and if they can bring that on a consistent basis. You know, Keisha has really been scoring the ball well for us on the perimeter, shooting and attacking very confidently. When we get Upchurch going inside, I think that obviously helps us get a good inside-out combo. And then Janelle's done an excellent job running the point and really getting us in a position to be successful on offense.
What has to happen for your team to be the best it can be down the stretch run?
Well, I think we have to get stops. For us, it's about controlling tempo on both ends of the floor, but getting stops and not allowing second chance opportunities. When we get stops and then are allowed to go down and execute and be deliberate on offense, I think it's definitely to our advantage. And I think a lot of the teams in the league don't like to play that pace. And I think if we can get stops, it all stems from our defensive execution, our rebounding, and then allowing us to get down on the offensive end and go to work.
Saturday is a special day for the Lady Demons because it's not only a home game, but it's a special home game with the Think Pink initiative by the Women's Basketball Coaches Association.
It is. You know, I think the neat thing about what the WBCA does with to honor Coach Yao and her legacy and the tremendous foundation that she helped create, along with the V Foundation that the men run on the men's side. It's extremely important, number one, to increase awareness for cancer of all kinds, but especially for breast cancer that Coach Yao suffered from. To see all the different teams be so supportive of this initiative is really, really special. It's a great chance for our fans to show support, to donate to the WBCA K Yao Cancer Fund. We'll have obviously opportunities to do that at the game. Wear your pink, come out and really help us celebrate this cause.
Now, you have worn orange pants at home this year. You wore a beautiful pink sweater, or rather purple sweater, the other night at Corpus Christi. It's Think Pink game. Do you have anything in the closet? I do. I do have some pink in the closet. Scott actually has some pink in the closet. So our team and our staff will be adorning the pink gear on Saturday, and I think we've passed that along to New Orleans as well, and I think they'll be participating. So I think it's a neat way to show support and gain awareness for the terrible disease.